Hi, my name is Quanasia, and welcome to my book corner where I talk to you about books or series that I've recently read. Today's series is called Court of Sinners by Jesi, Donovan. Okay, the female main character name is Senna. Alright, then there is Laurent and I think Lorcan. They are twins. There is Dirk Decken. He is a dragon. There is Siren. He's a fae who deals with souls. And then there's Evander. Evander is a old being who was around the time when Senna was not Senna. Okay, she is the queen, those are her kings. Okay, let's get into it. The first book, Marked for Ruin, we meet Senna. Senna's backstory is she used to be an orphan, and then somehow, some way, she ends up orphaning 47 people. She don't even know how. She lost a week of her life, so she don't remember what the fuck really happened. And she ends up going to supernatural prison. That's what it is. This is a paranormal book, by the way. She ends up going to prison, right, where the supernatural people go, right? Boom. So she gets this thing on her neck. They don't know how powerful she is. She don't know how powerful she is. She don't know what she really is, right? Boom. She gets into prison. They put her through different shit that she has to do. So they put her into some type of ring where she had to beat people's asses, and that's where she looked up and she saw the twins. She smiled at them, basically all feral like, and they were like, yeah, we like her. Okay, boom. Come to find out, her blood fucks with all the what's it called, the wards, and all the what's that word I'm looking for? Her blood fucks with the wards and all electronics and all the collars that everybody have on, and they didn't understand why, but it's because Miss Girl is connected to the prison some way, some fucking how. Come to find out, in the prison they are experimenting on the prisoners. They're trying to find out if they could find a nexus. If you're into supernatural paranormal books, you already know what a nexus is. If you have not read a paranormal book before, nexuses are basically nucleus. Okay, the nucleus of a group. It's usually a woman in these books, okay? And she usually has 3 to 5 partners, bond mates, whatever the fuck. She is the nucleus. She's the one that helps with their power. She either makes them more powerful, or she helps help them with the control of their powers. It's a lot. Okay, so there's that. Anyways, they were trying to find nexuses and why it works and all that stuff, and they thought that Miss Girl was a nexus, right? Boom. She is like, damn, that's what they think I am. But then she starts thinking that she's something more. Why? Because Saren, who is the fae who can talk to ghosts and he deals with spirits and all that, carry on, he can look into your soul and see what you are. He used to be an assassin for wherever fae kingdom he came from, but he isn't they call him something else, but basically an assassin. Okay, and he was an assassin, or a I forgot what the name is with an E. Anyways, he was that. Anyways, she asked him, what do you see when you look into my soul? He's like, I see nothing. I see a whole ocean. It's like looking at the ocean through a keyhole. Remember I said this, because they will say that over and over and fucking over again in the first book. It is so annoying. We get it, but every single time he describes her soul, he'll say it's like looking at the ocean through a keyhole. And he will say it over and over and over again. Y'all couldn't describe nothing else. Y'all couldn't use no other adjectives or nothing. Damn. Anyways, so then she's like, okay, so that's weird. Like, that's where I need to figure out what I am and they started like paying more attention to her because she started bonding. She bonded with the twins first, and I think no, she bonded with Siren first by accident, just by touching him, and then she could feel like, oh, his emotions and stuff like that. Oh, she at first was not in the same unit as them. So the four guys I told you about, Evander, he was the warden, and then the other four guys, they were in unit 7 because they were supposed to be very powerful, whatever fuck. So she was in, regular population, well, arcane population, because she was supposed to be a quote unquote caster. Well, then they moved her into unit 7, and then she, bonded with Siren, then she bonded with the twins, and then eventually she bonded with Deccan. I think that's his name. Deccan, some shit. Anyways. Draken. His name is Draken. My bad. Anyways. Draken is going through some things because he had a mate, Sarah. Anyways, he was away from somewhere. She ends up getting off while he was away. When he came back, he found her, and she was pregnant at the time. They took the baby out of her stomach and went on about their business. So he was mourning. He went went through 3 kingdoms, killed a whole bunch of people, and he finally turned himself in at the prison. The twins are in prison because the council, who are, a whole bunch of the paranormal group that looks over the other supernaturals, they're saying that they came up with a cult, but it wasn't a cult. The twins had found a home for those who didn't have one. Okay, so they was pissed about that, and now they're in prison. They were in prison for 15 years. Siren is in prison because basically treason. That's what he was in prison for, really. Anyways, that's what they quote unquote. That's what they say. So eventually, at the end of the book, right, every single time she had a conversation with Evander, she didn't really like Evander because he felt weird, like wrong, like something was wrong with him, right? Boom. And then she meets, she's talking to her therapist at the time. The therapist was with Unit 7. Anyways, because she's in Unit 7, she starts talking to the therapist, and the therapist is asking her all types of questions, and she's like, bitch, what? They come to find out that the faction is a group that has been experimenting on the prisoners, and basically intentionally put the group together so that she can become a nexus and bond all of them. That's the whole point. And it was a whole thing. Okay, I'm not gonna give y'all all the details. Just go ahead and read it. Okay. Book 2 is bound by betrayal. Okay, in book 2, she finds out what she is. She finds out that she is actually a being called the bond maker. She creates bonds between couples, parents and child, etc. The reason why she used to be a bigger being, more vast, okay? However, the people that worship her went from worshiping her to wanting to use her. So she said, fuck this shit, I'm finna break myself apart so I could finally live my fucking life, right? So she does just that. That's where Senna comes along. Okay, Senna is one of the fragments. Now, Senna also knew another person named Ira. Ira was another fragment. Okay, they were very close. Now, Senna starts to remember shit. Okay, she starts to remember that she actually was in an orphanage for a short amount of time, and then she ended up in a facility who had her since she was a child until she was 19 years old, testing her. And Ira, who was her close friend, they pushed her so bad that she ended up breaking and then taking everybody's essence, basically killing everybody in the room except for Senna. And that was the incident in which Senna was basically put, like, it was put on her like she killed 47 people when she didn't. Now the therapist, not the therapist, but the faction has like a lady named Voss, and Voss knew exactly what she was doing. Voss was there when Ira and Senna was there at the facility, and she's the reason why the Unit 7 is the Unit 7. All the niggas in Unit 7 is there. She set it up intentionally so Senna could come in and meet them and bond with them. She just didn't know that Senna was the bond maker. Nobody knew that Senna was the bond maker except for her niggas, okay? And Evander. Evander knew her from way back when she was just the goddess, when she was just in the vastness, right? He knew her then. He was her, if sounded like her man, but not really her man, because the bond maker didn't really have feelings like that. Like, she just did what she had to do. She really, you know, she didn't really have feelings like that, right? Boom. So Evander was holding down the fort whilst Senna was out there living her best life, and he, you know, kept track of her, and he made sure that Senna would somehow end up at the prison, because he was pulling the strings with the faction. Okay, boom. Anyways, she figures out what she is. She's starting to get memories, and she's starting to hear come back to us, come back home, and she's starting to have dreams of a cave and an altar and all this shit. So she's like, oh, what the fuck is going on? She's scared. Anyways, Evander eventually tells her, like, come back to me when you remember who you are. She starts remembering who she is, but she starts saying, I don't want to lose myself. However, she goes down, she's trying to run away. She can't run away because the prison was created by her when she wasn't Senna. So she's trying to get out. Her bondmate to get out, but she can't get out because, you know, really it wasn't because she created her own prison. It was because her other fragmented self that she didn't fully combine with was still in the building. Okay, boom. Anyways, she ends up meeting Evander like, okay, you gotta really, you know, find out who you are. So he kisses her, gets her will. She's mad about this for the rest of the book and the next book, bitch. Like, oh my god, just, yeah. In this book, they keep saying one type of saying, I forgot what it was, but it keeps going on and on and on, and it's so fucking annoying. It's repetitive, just like it's that is looking at the ocean through a keyhole. And the first one is repetitive. This one is gonna be repetitive as hell too. I forgot the thing, but anyways, he kisses her. She's pissed. She starts remembering shit, and she comes, like, all the memories that was like locked up, she remembers, and now she's pissed at him. She starts, you know, really starting to, you know, learn her gifts and being a bond maker and trying not to lose who Senna was in the bond maker. And she was thinking that she was going to separate the two, but they told her you can't separate the two, you have to combine the two, because if you separate the two, you could kill yourself by fracturing yourself even more. So Miss Girl was like, okay, I gotta learn how to combine both of them. Boom. She still has the other half of her downstairs in the tunnel, in the cave and by the altar. That other half is her grief, her rage, and all her backbone. That's what she calls it. Third book comes along. Okay, the third book is Crowned and Chained. Okay, boom. She takes over the whole prison. She still hasn't gone down there to get her other half. Evander helps her take over the prison, helps her run the council off, because they came to try to run shit. Voss, she had to take Voss and do some shit to Voss, so you gotta read it to learn what she did to Voss. But she did some shit to Voss to get her together, and she basically takes over. She turns the prison into a sanctuary, and the council is not fucking with it. They was like, nah bitch, we not hearing this is a sanctuary, even though after they said that it wasn't a sanctuary and it wasn't real territory, people started coming because there's a lot of other beings that needed places to go, because a lot of other places were putting bitches out left, right, and fucking center, apparently. Anyway, she starts taking over. She starts changing shit. Things start happening. She goes down to the cave. She takes her other part in. You know, it was a whole shebang bang with that, but she realizes, oh my god, it's like she's something else. Yada yada yada. She has a coronation with her niggas, and they get crowned. And she loves them down boots. Oh, she also hunches on Evander. Evander ain't ever been hunched on before, so she tells him she's still mad at him, then takes his virginity and holds him through his orgasm. And that's her man ever since then. So now he's one of her kings. And that is the story. She gets crowned. She has, you know, they run shit. Everybody's have their own thing to do in the kingdom, and everything is going good. People still coming in. People are safe. It was cute and happy at the end. She finds out she's pregnant. That would have been cute to read about, but hey, this one had repetitive in it too. every book has something repetitive. It probably has something that goes together, but either way, bitch, it was kind of annoying. Some things were yeah, that's the only thing that was annoying about this book is the repetition. We get it. You mad at him for kissing you against your will. We get it. Oh my gosh. Anyways, y'all go ahead and read this book if you want to. It does not have to be the top of your TBR list, but you should put it on there if you want to, if you're into paranormal books. And if you have read a girl, what did you think? Did you enjoy it? All right, y'all, go like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate it. Okay, bye.